welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. As always, it's me, thesmithied, and today we're looking at Sanely Red's arena team. This is going to be a great video for anybody that's wanting to learn more on Zeta, Maul, how he works, how to mod him, and what my overall advice is on building this team through Sanely's collection. So we're going to start off, have a little bit of a commentary on one of his arena battles, then we're going to jump over and see what's under the hood. If you do enjoy this video, then please make sure that you are giving it a thumbs up and commenting in the section below. So with my first impressions, your Dooku is the fastest, and definitely right, you want to be going for that stun on Rex to stop him getting that tenacity up. But your big issue you've got here is you've got no protection, there is no tank there. And in these kind of Sith squads, it is good to have maybe a standalone character, and you're stuck at the moment because you don't currently have a Dispeller, and you've not been fast enough to put down that daze with Maul. So at the moment they've got tenacity up and things are really not looking that good. So we're going to have a look at your mods to see what we can change. Maybe we can make your characters faster, maybe we can change up your lineup slightly and see where we go from there. So again, in this video we will be using swgoh.gg. This is the best weapon that any player has in their arsenal, where you can really see what mistakes you may be using. You have a clear overview of what you're doing in the game. So what I can see straight away, and what we know, is this player has a Zeta Maul. He is currently ranked 94, his highest has been recently is 63 and his lowest is 191. So what this tells me so far is he's only recently Zeta'd his Darth Maul. As we can see on the timeline of things, and we're going to have a look at what teams he's been using, to where he's come from and where he's got to. So it looks like things started back on the 11th of March, he was 169 and he was using an Emperor Palpatine leadership, which is great character. So, and then we can see that he's jumped up, declined, jumped up, and it's kind of been a forwards and backwards battle of kind of reaching the top 100. And we can see recently then, in March, he's then changed to this Maul lead. He's then been able to climb, but and then he has taken a little bit of a drop. But and then again, he's been able to climb 44 places in the space of the kind of day. So that is great. That's always great news. So that's top 100 straight away. He's slowly declined a little bit, so that's not too bad. It's a minus 15. He's been able then to kind of build it back up, jump straight into, in a few days, a 63. But unfortunately, he then did decline all the way back to 156 over the matter of the couple of days that we've got here. He then jumped back up to 98, and then he's kind of like hovering. I'd say he's hovering around this mark, but we need to see why that is, and we need to see what fixes I can do to this team, because this team definitely has something wrong with it. I wouldn't really say that this team should be dropping like this. A Zeta Maul is a great leadership, and especially if you're running all Sith. So we need to really look at what mods he's got. So in the other video, I looked at the characters first, but we're going to do things different, and we're going to have a look what mods this player has in their collection. Then we're going to see how he's modded his characters. So to check the mods, we're going to go into the mod section, we're going to go onto the filters, and the first thing that I want to be looking at is speed arrows. I want to see if he's got any mods that have 30 speed on. So that would be your primary stat of speed, and then we're going to apply the filters on that, and then we're going to go straight in, and what we can see so far, that he doesn't have any 30 speed. So this is definitely a really big area for improvement. And if I was this player, I definitely would now be moving to kind of like farming mods as much as I can, because you need to have that 30 speed. So we can see that Dooku is the Sith here. We've got Emperor Palpatine down here, but all the rest have speed arrows, which aren't on his arena team. And this is quite important, because the ones that's on Lando, you know, if you are using them for raids, and it's the same as me, I don't have a massive mod collection, so I do have to move them around. If you want to be competitive in the game, then that is something that you're going to need to do until you have a big collection of mods. Again, his Wedge has the speed. He can move these forwards and backwards if he wants to stay competitive in the arena. So I would say straight away that you want to be putting a speed arrow on your Maul. You want to probably be going with the quicker one that's on Dooku. Dooku already naturally has some high speed, so you really want to be moving this mod over to his Maul, and then maybe going with another character that's needing the speed boost, and then so forth, and then add in maybe the 17 to Dooku, because you don't need to really have lots and lots of speed. He's naturally fast, but we're going to see what we can speed up in his team, what advice we can give him. I'm going to check his other mods out now. So on his secondaries, so that's what we're going to look at right now, is his speed secondaries, and see where he's put these on his team. So the protection arrow, we don't really need to look into that because we're not going to be putting protection on any of his characters really, because we want to have some speed secondaries and some high arrow speeds. So the highest speed that he's currently got in his collection is unfortunately on his bigs, and that's at +8 speed, so I would be looking to move that to a Maul. Maul, in my opinion, is quite important to how you mod him. You want as much speed as possible, as much as you can really get on him. Then what we've got here, we've got his 5s. His 5s isn't in his arena team, so all these mods right here, except for his Savage, these can all go onto his arena team. Person that has this roster, Sanely Red, really needs to start farming some mods and really putting some really good investment into that, like every day, as much as he can, to kind of build up his mod collection. So we're just going to go down further, see what he's got, and it's kind of like lacking really big on the mods. We've got Nihilus here that's sitting with a 4 speed, and out of this top part here, I can only see one Sith character that's got a speed secondary. We've got Maul down here, we've got Palpatine there, but the kind of like top part right here is one character out of the arena team, and this is probably why his arena team is dropping and it's maybe not climbing into that kind of like consistently top 50. So it is something that we need to work on, but there's always going to be elements that we can kind of add. I'm not a miracle worker, but I will try my best with what the person has. I'm not going to say, you know what you need to go out and buy this, you need to go out and get that. I'm going to be realistic to make it achievable. I'm not going to set anybody up to fail. So we're going to have a look at how his team is modded, so we can see really what we could kind of change on that and give the advice of what I would change personally. So the first villain of the day is Maul. Maul is one of these characters that you do want to have speed on. You know, you want to have him hitting quite hard, but you want him to really put him down that days as quick as possible and being that game changer from the start. So what we can see already that he's got a critical avoidance on there, but when Maul goes into stealth, he's pretty much got crit immunity anyway. So you don't really want to be avoiding crits because that makes Maul go into stealth. So you do not want to be putting this piece or component on this character. So we want to be changing that with one of the speed arrows that were shown before, and even though they're not +30, speed is speed as much as we can get, because currently this Maul is 105 speed, so he's very, very slow. He's going to take half the turns of what a fully modded Maul would be. The health here, we're going to have a look because it's got no speed on, so we want to see if there's any critical damage sitting around in this collection. So we've got some critical damage mods right here. We've got one again on a non-arena character, so we want to really be taking this off and putting it onto the Maul, even though that we can't build a solid set. So when I say solid set, that's going to be like 4 critical damage mod sets, and that's going to give you plus an amount of critical damage. So what we can do though is build maybe a health set, because Maul, again, after he starts doing some hits here and there, he becomes quite tanky from his unique. So we want to be putting that critical damage really on Maul to make him hit harder. You know, he's not currently using Boba Fett, so we probably want to be taking that off Boba and then moving that to someone in his lineup. So again, we're back at Maul. Down here again, a defense mod. No, you should not be putting a defense mod on this character. And I'm just going to show you how my Maul's set up. It's not perfect, but it is more in the right direction to how I would say Maul needs to be modded. And I'm going to give the reasonings why my Maul's modded this way, because there's always going to be a backstory to why you mod your character in that certain way. So straight away, we've got the health, and this is my Maul. We've got the critical damage. I haven't gone for the set because I've gone for pure speed. As you can see down here, my Maul is 206 speed. So I want him really going one of my quickest characters, but the big reason behind that is because I do run a Nihilus, so I want him putting those debuffs down, especially for Rex leads. I could probably make him a little bit quicker. I've gone for the potency, is just purely for the number of speed. These are my 2 best mod speeds that you see where the mouse is pointing on screen. So I wanted to put them really on my Maul to speed him up, because he's really slow and really sluggish when you don't have the right mods on him, and you really want to be speeding up that speed because he's a great character overall. Health, again, speed, I've got protection mods that are around about 10, 11, but I wanted to kind of oomph him with that little bit extra speed for my shard, just to give him a nice hello, a little care package for them, that my Maul goes before some of these Rex teams. But it's no biggie if someone goes before me. I've got great characters in my lineup that are quite well protection, and they're quite tanky, so there's no biggie if someone goes before me. But I like to have my Maul as fast as I can currently really get him, and that's realistic. But yeah, I've got the normal standalone offense, the defense. You could go with health or protection. There's no real right or wrong because Maul does increase his health. Again here, you do not need to have the potency because he gains it again from his unique. He gains a certain percentage from his health. So the higher the health, higher is it, he gets more tanky, the more potency that is going to be added to him. So we're going to go back to Sanely Red's Maul and we're just going to have a quick overview of what I would change. We're going to have a look because again this has no speed, so we'd be changing the defense to one that has some speed. Again with the offense where the mouse is pointing, we definitely want that changed to a speed arrow. That has to be changed in my opinion. Again, this has no speed, so we want to be then putting that critical damage on there, making him hit a little bit more is great because remember he's going to be getting that advantage when he comes out of stealth, which is guaranteed crit, as long as those characters do not have crit immunity. So we've come to his Vader, and again, the critical avoidance on a Sith team, no, you do not want to have critical avoidance because you want them to crit to put you into stealth. If you're trying to avoid that, you're kind of watering down your team. Again, with defense, do not put that on your characters. It makes really zero difference because it's a percentage gain of what the armor already is. So you don't really want to be putting that on the characters, and you want to be putting potency on your Vader. You want him to be putting down dots. No potency. At the moment, we can see his potency is at 35.69%. If you then put that potency cross on that, it's going to increase it far more than what it is now, and he's going to be overall better at landing and applying them dots. So overall, get rid of the defense, go with a potency. We're going to have a look now to see if you've got a potency. So what we can see, this player has one potency cross, so that does need farming, that does need changing, and this is where you desperately need to start farming these mods to improve your characters because they won't improve on their own. You need those mods to make them better versus somebody that's got 5-dot mods, and if you haven't got the right setup, you could slightly have less mods than them, slightly have a disadvantage when it comes to the 4-dot, 5-dot, but having the right mods on your characters will do you much better than not having the right mods on your characters. So this is an area where you do need to improve. You need to start looking in the shop, making sure you are purchasing any mods that look good, that are going to improve your characters, even if they have no speed secondaries, because speed secondaries don't always pop up, but what we need for your characters is mods, and that is important, especially in this part. You want some potency, but we're going to talk about Vader in a Maul team a little bit later. Critical chance, always run critical chance with Vader because you want him critting with his Colin blade, so that is something that you definitely should be doing. Protection, yep. Don't change that unless you can upgrade it with a speed secondary. I can see on your Emperor Palpatine that you've got tenacity on him. You want to be taking that off and looking for another mod that's going to be benefiting to his character. He currently doesn't already have great tenacity anyway, and the chances of a low tenacity percent going to be making a difference is very slim. I used to run a General Kenobi and a Rex around about a 95% on tenacity, and it felt like it made zero difference. They would still get debuffs, they would still get ability block, so I thought, whoa, I might as well just run protection because this isn't doing anything for me. So I wouldn't really put tenacity on this character as the kind of like thing I want you to take away from this. So we're going to have a look at your mods for protection to see what we have in the kind of like cross section. To see if there is anything that we can kind of quick fix right now for you. So again, as you can see, your wedge has the protection on him, so, and it has a free speed, so you want to be taking that off, putting it on one of your characters. You're not currently using your Sidia, so move that off as well. And realistically, you want to be trying making mod sets, but for now, getting to the right mods on the right characters is probably more important than doing mod sets. You're going to have to build with what you've got and then build on that. And that is the main thing that you should be looking at. Is there's lots of videos out there saying you should mod this character this way, you should mod that character that way. But the bottom line is it, and realistically, in these videos, I'm going through someone's personal roster, someone's personal mods, so I can see exactly what they've got. So I can only really give advice on what they've got, and I can tell them advice of where to go, what to do, but I can't magically give them mods and say, yeah, put that on that character, because realistically, it could take a while to get more of these kind of like protection mods in their kind of collection. So the quick fix is definitely be looking into your mods you've got here on these characters and moving them along. You know, even if it is the 2-dot, I'd probably try and stay clear from 2-dot stuff, but I definitely would look at the 3-dot and this 5-dot right here. It's gonna improve your squad. That's the bottom line of it. You know, you can put your potency on your Palpatine as well if you wanted to go in for the stuns. Once you've been able to get some potency, then you would be replacing this and putting that on your Emperor Palpatine so you can go for the stun. But currently you don't have any potency crosses. So we're not going to say, you know what, I'm going to leave you to it and you just go out and get a potency cross. I'm going to say you're going to put protection on him for now and then change it later on to a potency cross. So have a look at your Savage, and again, you put tenacity, take tenacity off. You don't need it on there. The other stuff that you've got, look in your collection to see what other better mods that you've got that's going to fit this character like I showed you on the screen previously with the speeds. If you cannot put a speed arrow, then yeah, offense isn't bad. You know, if you wanted to put some protection on this character, then that's always great as well, because he is quite a tanky character, so you could go with that protection route until you start getting more speed arrows. The critical damage on him, great, that works wonders. The tenacity, take it off. Get rid of it. You don't need it on this character. It's just hurting your team on the defense, and it's probably really hurting your team on the offense. So let's have a look at your Count Dooku. So agree, speed, that is what you want. Speed arrow is always kind of a must, and that's really what you really want to be focusing for. You may want to be changing it down like I suggested before, so you can then kind of balance it out and make your slower characters faster, because your Dooku has 193 speed, so that is a good speed, but you could slightly tone that down where it could benefit Maul, for an example, a lot more than it will benefit Dooku. The 1. Health mod, we need to have a look at changing that, because that's not really a great mod for this character. Defense, again, same as tenacity, take it off. You don't need it on these characters. Protection's great, defense is great, the offense is great. You know, if there is any time that you can change any of these secondaries to have a little bit more speed, then do it. But your other characters are in far more need of having some speed than Dooku. He's already a fast character overall, so you want to try and balance it out, and you don't want to have just one fast character and everyone else being slow. You want to kind of like balance it out and kind of like tailor it for your team. That is the best advice I could give you on modding these characters. So this is your collection, Sanely. This is all your characters. I can see the ins and outs of your team, but we're going to try and keep it Sithy. You know, we want to be going with the Sith relation, because you've just put all that hard work into Zeta in your Maul. What stands out a lot to me, and you could be making the mistake of most players, is you've got a lot of 7 stars, but you don't seem to kind of have a lot of them kind of like gear 10 and 11. It seems like you've kind of spread out your time to kind of gear this one person, then gear this next person. So the 2 characters I want you to work on the most is a Darth Nihilus starting with. I want you to finish gearing him, get him to a gear 10 at least, then slot him into your team, and then followed by a Sith Assassin. At the moment, you're lacking speed on your mods, and until you do start getting some heavy mods, Sith Assassin is a great little fix for your team, and she will get you some great offense wins. You could then speed her up and get her to go first and give your entire team turn meter. And that's what it's really about. You're going to then be above a lot on the shard, and it's going to be great for you. It's going to help you offensively, and it's also going to help you a lot on the defense. This has been a very long video, but it's been a great video with lots and lots of information. What I want you to take away from this is to look at your own mods and see where you can really make the improvements where I've suggested for Sanely. And Sanely, what I want you to do is go away and change those mods and put them on your arena team and work on gearing your Nihilus and Sith Assassin. Once you've got your Nihilus to gear 10 and once you've got your Sith Assassin to gear 10, put them in your team and replace the components that I said to replace. This will be far better for you defensively and offensively. What I also want you to do is to go heavy into some farming on mods and making sure that you're getting those speed arrows, getting those potency crosses, and really spending a lot of your time in that area of the game, and also be checking the mod shop. Make sure that you're keeping a little bit of credits aside in case that all-important mod does appear in there. I really do hope this video has been helpful for you all and you have been able to take something away from it. If you have enjoyed the video, then please make sure that you are hitting that like button and subscribing. If you've got any questions or comments, then please leave them in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching today. I'm the Smithy D. May the Force be with you always.